Okay, bro, so this is how you tell if the cotton is burned out. If you can see here, if you can see there, the wire itself, the coil, is dark black. This is how it looks when a lot of gunk, or the, what do you call this? Yeah, there it is. The most of the sugar is basically burnt out. So what you have to do is you just have to take out the cotton. For example, give me 1 second. Now you can either use your hands or basically scissors to take them out if you don't have the tools needed. So just take them out. Cut one side so that it'll be easier for you. And yeah. And this is how your atomizer is going to look like. So as you can see, it's black, it's charred out. So you can do either of two things. You can make it, fire it until it reds up, and then brush it clean with anything else that you can find. Or easier way is just is water. So light it up. Dip just the coil. Just dip the coil. Don't include your mod because it's gonna short out, and you're just gonna have to buy a new one if that happens. So if you can see the difference, it already went back to its stainless steel look, just like almost like when you initially installed the coil. Now, properly applying the cotton. Now, this is a 3mm guide, not 3.5, but 3mm guide. It's what you call the size of the circumference of its hole. So as for the cotton right here. Hold on 1 second. You're going to have to cut a 1/4 of an inch thick. To demonstrate. Now, other builders, after cutting it, what they do is they take this portion and they take this out. They rip out basically the upper portion of it, so that what's left is the soft part. Now, me personally, I don't like to do that because the soft part is basically so easier to burn. So for me, flavor aside, it burns easily. So let's do that again. Once I cut this is basically 1/4 of an inch. Just twist that. And then, see? That's what you put through those holes. It fits perfectly. Remember, it's just a quarter of an inch. See, that's easy. You can basically feel if the cotton was made too thick, because when you put it through the hole, it's a bit really tight when you do that. You can actually feel it with your fingers. And I have to make sure it hits the bottom so that you know where to cut. Okay. Here. And that, you're basically almost done. You just have to put this inside. And there you have it. It's done. Now, what you really need to not forget about this is that you have to make sure that it's going to be wet enough, especially on the first priming. So what is priming? It's when you fire your vape, of course wet with juice, to take out that like original cotton scent, so that you can just basically feel the juice or taste the juice. So you got to make sure that it is really, really wet. Okay, because you can see from the sides, bottom, and especially the middle. You got to make sure that it is wet all over before you fire that. Now, for drippers, it's so easy for it to dry. Now, if you really look at it here, you'll notice that it's not actually that dry yet. But this is actually the moment when you have to refill the juice. Make it as wet as you can, and you're actually done. So it's this easy.